Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. It's the Done Elizabeth, and today I'm going to be giving you guys the video that I've been talking about doing, and I'm super excited to just share my experiences.
Drop the roof and let the smoke clear. I got diamonds doing pussy slides in both ears. Dice rolling on the Las Vegas strip tonight. Slip that on and we might miss the fight. Fuck a lot, I keep the wallet in my shorty bag. You know she wants mine when she tattooed that ass. I'm a lover boy, she love the toys. Keep it coming, you a rider. Just that roll myself a day and count my figure shit. It's that stepping out, I feel like I'm that nigga shit.
This video is going to be about all the obstacles that I face while being on my journey, while I'm still on my journey. Just obstacles that you may face if you're starting or if you're currently on your journey. Just to give you guys a heads up so that you know that sometimes the way you feeling, people are feeling the same way, so that you know that you're not alone. I want to make this a weight loss community, a fitness community, a community where we could come and relate on the obstacles that we face, how to get through those obstacles, and how to keep pushing towards our goal. Because remember, anything that you want to be done can be done. And for those of you who are new to this channel, if you haven't heard of me, my name is The Done Elizabeth. I've lost over 150 pounds, all natural, and I've created this platform to just journal my journey, to give you guys tips and motivation, inspire and motivate each and every one of you to get up and make anything happen that you want to be done. Alright, so let's go ahead and get to it. Number one, which is one that I just posted on my Instagram, is that the old you will constantly try to resist your change. And I say this because even now that I'm 4 years into my journey, you always will find like your old habits trying to come back. Like that's the most like mental note to keep when you're on the journey, is to realize that no matter how much you change, no matter how much you work out, no matter how much you lose, you cannot bring your old habits into your new body, into your new fitness lifestyle. You just can't. And anytime I try to backtrack and start back doing stuff that I used to do, I realize like, done, you changed for a reason. Like you can't bring those old habits into this new lifestyle. So, and it's also more mental than physical, because you start thinking like, oh, I'm slipping up, or oh, I'm backtracking. But that's really just the devil working. The devil will constantly try to tell you that you're not strong enough for the change. The devil will try to constantly tell you to not change. It will throw obstacles at you to make you feel like you can't continue on. But that's just literally the old you trying to fight that change. That's why I always tell people, when you trying to lose weight or trying to transition into a healthier lifestyle, you will be uncomfortable, because the comfortable you is the old you. So don't be afraid to be uncomfortable, and always remember that no matter if you 5-6 years in your journey or 4 months into your journey, you might have a good 3 weeks and then you find yourself feeling like, dang, like why am I feeling like I can't keep pushing, or why I feel like I can't keep going on, because that's literally just the old you trying to tell you that you can't do this. And the more it tell you can't, keep showing yourself that you can. Always keep showing yourself that you can. Number 2 would be being impatient with results. Y'all, I kid y'all not, I think that's the most struggle when people start their journey, is realizing that the change doesn't happen as fast as you want it to. Now, of course, the elephant in the room is that the more consistent that you are, the better the results. But of course, once you have the old you started trying to fight to resist the change, it's hard to be consistent. Like, that's something that everybody needs to understand. It's super duper hard to be consistent. When you are on a journey, you have to be patient. I was the type of person, like when I started my journey, I had already knew that it wasn't gonna happen overnight. But then as I like lost the first 100 pounds, I thought like, dang, why I'm not keep dropping it? Why my body not changing as fast as it did when I lost the first 100? And one thing that you have to realize, and I'm just being honest, I have to be honest with myself, is throughout my whole life, all the way up until I was about 19 years old, I ate whatever I wanted to eat. I didn't track any calories. I was active, but I never just put a good effort into trying to lose weight. And you have to think, if you have spent years or even months eating whatever you want, just not really focusing on trying to change your body, you can't expect months worth of eating whatever you want to change within a week. I think sometimes that goes over people's head when you start your weight loss journey. Like, it takes time. Like, it takes patience, and it takes time to see your body change. And sometimes literally the moments that you feel like, okay, I'm about to give up because I'm not seeing a change, when you keep going, that next week you will see the change. So it's always important to realize that patience is like really vital when it comes to this process. So always think like, I ain't gained 20 pounds overnight, so I ain't finna lose that 20 pounds overnight. So always keep that in mind. Like it takes time. You have to be patient, and the more impatient you are, the more dreadful journey will become. The next one is going to be obsessing over the scale. And I know that so many people can relate to this because this is a barrier for a lot of people. It was a barrier for me. Sometimes I do fall back into it, but I always have to remind myself. So one thing about the scale, and I've made several videos about this before, is fluctuations are real. It's normal to gain up to like 5 pounds on your cycle. Muscle will cause, if you're building muscle while also trying to lose fat, that will cause the scale to go up, or that will cause the scale to not to move. If you've been on track Monday through Friday and then you go out on the weekends and eat pretty much whatever you like, enjoying yourself, you might see some change in the scale. And I think it goes more to me like relying more on education to learn how weight fluctuations are normal, to make you realize that if my weight spikes up, it's okay. Should I let the number that I see on the scale determine how I feel today? Absolutely not, because that will also make the journey super duper dreadful for you. Of course, the scale is one marker of progress, but it shouldn't be your only marker of progress. And the more you tend to obsess on why the scale isn't moving, you focus less on the process. What has also been helpful for me is taking lots of pictures. Take your picture every Monday, or take your picture once a month. Just mainly remember that your worth is not on the scale. Put more effort into the process instead of trying to let the scale determine how you're doing on your journey, or let the scale determine how you feel about yourself on that particular day, because sometimes that can become a mental barrier for you, and it takes the joy and the fun out of seeing yourself progress over time. The next one is going to be staying consistent on the weekends. Y'all, I kid y'all not, when I first started, this was the hardest thing to do. Like, it was the hardest thing of my life. When I first started, remind y'all, I was in college. So on the weekends, it was so many parties. Like, we was going to 6th Street, we was going to the club, and I had to tell myself, like, okay, Dunn, you done started this journey. And I just did a live with my coach the other day, and he said, you could either work hard now and rest later, or rest now and work hard later. So when I started my journey, I would literally go fed on the weekends, y'all. I would go out to the clubs, drink up everything, and then on that Sunday, me and my friend will always go to IHOP just to talk about the shenanigans over the weekend. And I would notice that I would kind of get my body going, and then on the weekends I would backtrack, and then I still had to like that next week I literally would just be right back where I was when I first started. So the barrier to that was literally what I just said. Work hard now, rest later, or rest now, work hard later. And I had to realize that, okay, if I go all in 100% now and kind of get where I want to be, then I can have that leeway to be able to learn how to balance and enjoy myself. So like I decided to cut out the weekend so that I could see myself prosper further. I could see my results happen faster. Like I said before, the more consistent you are, the better the results, the faster the results. Still being patient, but the results will come so much faster if you cutting out all that extra stuff on the weekends. Like I'm telling y'all, when I cut out the weekends, that's what led me to being able to lose 100 pounds in 11 months. Because that first month I lost 20, but then after that I literally had to fight for my life for every 10 pounds. But once you start to narrow down on the plan that you have in place, focus on, y'all know I use macros and caloric deficit as my way of losing my weight. Once I started to focus on my macros, focus on being in my caloric deficit, I would literally just spice up my meals on the weekend so that I didn't feel like I couldn't enjoy what I wanted to enjoy. But all the extra alcohol and stuff, if I did go out and have a drink, it would be 1 drink instead of 4 or 5, instead of 6, 7, 8 shots. Just trying to be more moderate when it comes to getting to where I want it to be. Because I'm the type of person, when I got something I want to do, everything else can step back. Because one thing that y'all have to realize is the food and the alcohol is still going to be there. It's not going anywhere. It's still going to be there. Next up is focusing on the physical more than the internal. This is super duper 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 like the most, like I would say mentally, this is the one thing that I feel like everybody should be aware of when you are on your journey. Sometimes when you're on your journey, you working so hard to change, you working so hard to change, like you putting in the work every single day. So you start to, like, I know, let me speak for myself, you start to only focus on your physical more than your internal. And you realize that, I had to realize that before I had even started my journey, just from previous times of trying to constantly lose weight to make myself feel better. And one thing that I had to realize is that no matter how much you change your physical, that doesn't fix how you feel about yourself internally. That's why I always tell people, no matter how far you get on your journey, always stick to your self-love journey. Always stick to loving yourself now. Always make that a very important, just as important as making sure you show up to your workouts, is showing yourself self-love and loving yourself each and every step of the way. You cannot hate yourself into a new body, because that same hate that you have internally, because it's not the physical, that same hate that you have internally will follow you into your new body. Always work on the internal before you obsess, like before you just try to put everything into the physical. Because yeah, if you change your body, you could be more confident, but you will find yourself constantly trying to chase something new, because the real work needs to be done on the inside. I know for me that I couldn't change and I couldn't lose this weight until I took time to really love myself as I was before I started. And then it just transferred over, because when you love yourself enough, if it's a goal as such as trying to lose weight, if you love yourself enough, you won't give up on yourself, no matter how many times mental barriers, no matter how many obstacles come to you. So that's why self-love is important, because self-love is going to make sure that you never give up on yourself, no matter what it is. It could be just in life obstacles in general. And y'all know I don't play about that self-love, baby. Always love yourself first, no matter where you at in your journey, each and every step of the way. So the next thing is wanting to spot reduce. I know I get a lot of people that say, well, how do I just lose my stomach? Or I want to keep everything else. Or I just want to lose my stomach. Or I just want my arms to go down. Or I just want to target my back fat. One thing that I realized when I first started my journey is you cannot tell your body where to lose fat. You can't just point and be like, okay, I want this to go away, or I want this to go away, or what exercise that I need to do to make this go away. The one thing about our bodies is when it loses fat where it wants to. That's one thing that we cannot control. You can control where you want to build muscle. Like say for instance, you say, okay, I want my glutes to grow. You could target those muscles to grow, but you cannot target fat loss. That's why it's very important to make sure that you're focusing on nutrition, being in a caloric deficit so that you know that you are dropping body fat overall, and then your body will just follow suit. But the key is dropping that body fat. You have to be in a caloric deficit to do that, and then you will see that over time your body will reduce fat in places that wherever it decides. Because I know for me, when I first started, I lost a lot of my weight in my legs first. My legs got real small, and then all this up here got small, and then eventually my boobs left, and then my stomach still, even still today, my stomach still is like the last place that's taking a little bit of a minute to go down. So once again, you can't tell your body where to spot reduce. So if you sitting here stressing out like, oh, let me know what exercise I need to do this. Let me know what is to do this, baby. If you want that stomach gone, the real work happens in the kitchen. All right, always remember that the real work happens in the kitchen. Exercise is going to be an accessory to that. Always remember that, because baby, let me tell you, I thought I was going to be able to just say I'm going to do 100 crunches a day and then his stomach going to go down, child, please. It happens in the kitchen, okay? Remember that. The next one is thinking I can out-train a bad diet. This is the perfect transition. You cannot out-train a bad diet. And I don't even like saying a diet, like your eating routine. You can't out-train a bad, I'm gonna just say diet. You cannot out-train a bad diet. I remember at one point in my journey, I told myself, okay, I'm gonna go to the gym and I'm gonna try to burn 1,000 calories. That way I think I can still be able to eat whatever I want and, still get results. Ask me, how did that go? It did not go. Because if you constantly eating more than you're burning off, That's how you don't get results. Like, so no matter how hard you work out, always think as nutrition as your main tool and key to your success within your journey. Next one is gonna be another good one. Feeling guilty after eating off track. So one thing I always tell people, like, progress over perfection. If you think that you're gonna be perfect on this journey, you're gonna have a rude awakening, because baby, let me tell you, it's super duper hard to be perfect. Like, everybody knows that. And if we were meant to be perfect, then what will be the point of being on a journey? Like, how is it a journey if you literally did everything perfect every single step of the way? Where's the growth? Where's the mistakes to learn from? You have to realize that there will be weekends where you don't eat on track. There will be weeks where you don't eat off track. It may be months that you don't eat off track. It might be months that you eat off track. But what matters the most is, and I feel like a lot of people soak in their guilt, because I have had times where I was soaked in my guilt so much to the point where I would literally want to give up. But what matters the most is, what do you do after that? Like, do you stay where you are, or do you get back on track and try to still fight for that change? Because that's just another form of the old you trying to get you to stop, trying to get you from stepping into that new season. It's trying to just be a barrier and an obstacle from you stepping into that new change. Even 4 years down the line, I still have my times where I don't hit my macros. I still have my times where I don't get on my fitness pal and track or log, because I just don't. I'm on a journey. It's normal. If you have a weekend, months, weeks where you feel like, okay, I didn't just did everything, I didn't mess all the way up, don't ever think that that's the end all be all. Like, don't think that you have ruined all your progress, because you literally one meal, one day away, one track day away from getting right back on track. So always remember that when it comes to feeling guilty about yourself, change your mindset when it comes to those type of times. Let yourself know that it's normal. The more you normalize it, the less you feel guilty, and the easier it is for you to get back on track. Okay, the next one is comparison being the thief of joy. When I first started my journey, I didn't follow no fitness influencers. Fitness was not on my Instagram at all. But as I got closer and closer, like as I got deeper and deeper into the fitness world, I started to follow more fitness pages. And at a time, it started to become more negative than positive. And I know everybody have heard this quote before, that comparison is the thief of joy. You really cannot compare your journey to anybody else's journey. You don't know what they had to do to get there. You don't know what type of medical conditions people have. Everybody's body is different. Everybody's bodies responds to things differently. So you never know how it feels to step in another person's shoes. So it's just always best to just focus on yourself and focus on how you can work on you. We see all these different fitness influencers telling you to do this, don't do that, don't do this, eat this or eat that. And then at that moment you start to think, well, maybe I need to do this, or maybe I need to be like her, or why I don't look like her. And all that time, it's just taken away from you focusing on bettering you. The more you think of the negative side of why you don't look like somebody else, or why your journey isn't going like somebody else's, it takes away from you investing the time and focusing on the process and enjoying the journey. Do not let comparison steal the joy from your journey, because losing weight and getting healthier and just getting more fit is such a beautiful process. Even though it has its struggles, it has its ups and downs, it's such a beautiful process, and you don't want to let comparison take that away from you at all. Alright, so the last one is going to be feeling unmotivated, or feeling like you just can't stick to it. So I feel like a lot of times people hit a moment in their journey, or before they even get started, of like, dang, I'm just not motivated to start. I'm just not, like, I just really feel like I can't do this. I can't stick to it. It's not working. One thing to realize is you can't say anything didn't work if you wasn't consistent. If you didn't give it enough time to work, you can't say it didn't work. Because remember, whatever you water grows. If you water it, it will grow. If you be consistent, you will get the results. And one thing that people have to realize, and I know for me, is motivation comes with action. Motivation is not nothing you just roll over out the bed and be like, ooh, I think I'm ready to start. Or I think I got the motivation to start. Like, you could even see something that's motivating, or you could see somebody's journey that's inspiring, and even that might not give you the push that you thought you needed to start. Motivation comes with action. Motivation comes with starting before you're ready. If you tell yourself, okay, I'm gonna start when I feel like I'm fully ready, that day may not ever come. Always start before you're ready and take action to get yourself up and ready to start your journey. And another thing that you will learn along the way is that motivation is so small compared to self-discipline. And self-discipline is only created through constantly doing your routine, through constantly making your routine a habit, to constantly training your mind to be like, okay, even if I don't feel like it, I'm still going to do it anyways. Because most days you won't feel like it. Today when I got ready to get ready to go to the gym, I made my breakfast, I sat at the table, I laid back down in my bed, and I was like, done, you really don't want to go work out. So I said, okay, I'm going to set my alarm for 15 minutes, and then when I wake up, I'm going to go work out. I let the alarm go for like 2 minutes. 2 minutes passed, and I was like, you know what, done, go ahead, get up. And that right there, that decision that I made to still get up and go and show up for myself was not motivation, because I wasn't motivated at all to get up out the bed. I could have stayed in my bed all day if I wanted to. Discipline is what got me up in my gym clothes, ready to hit it, ready to go hard. So always notice that, always remember that motivation comes with action. If you feeling like you're not ready, get up and start anyways. If you feeling like you want to wait till January, don't wait till January, get up and start now. Because the same way you feel now, you might still feel in January. Always start before you're ready. So, I know this video was long, and I know, but I had to share it. It's probably so many more obstacles that I can share, but one thing that I could say is the biggest takeaway from being on this journey is just learning to find the love and the joy in it, which is hard. But once you take a holistic approach, like knowing that I'm going to like change myself internally, I'm going to make changes for my health, I'm going to make changes for myself and only for myself, you will see the beauty in this process. And the obstacles, one thing that I really noticed, like, is that the obstacles that you face while you're on this journey only makes you stronger. It only prepares you for the next obstacle that you might face, trying to get further and further towards that better version of yourself. Literally, what doesn't kill you along this journey will only make you stronger. You feel like if you go to the workout, you're going to be so tired. That's only another obstacle. Once you go and do the workout, you will feel so much better, because you realize, like, okay, you just gained that much more strength just from making it through that workout, just from showing up to that workout. If you dedicate yourself to sticking to your plan for a week, at the end of that week, it might have been hard as freak to stick to it, but at the end of that week, you have gained a little bit more strength to keep going and to keep progressing. So with that being said, I hope this video was super duper helpful. Remember, anything that you want to be done can be done. Release that strength and go after your goals. And with that being said, y'all already know the drill. Come back and mess with your girl. Peace out.